So welcome to another video for our financial series here. This is my era. I'm here with my buddy Eddie from Epic Financial Strategies, and we worked closely on this project where we're creating the budget planner. I hope you have yourself one because it will really just help you stay on track with your finances. And as we've been receiving questions from you guys, the This Is My Era customers, we wanted to make sure we bring an expert to really help answer. And one of the questions we've been getting from multiple people is about retirement, right? And the question we're seeing a lot is, Eddie, how much money do I need to retire?
Yep.
Because people are really trying to figure out, do I need to save, X amount or Y? They're not really quite clear as to how much they need to have saved up in
Yep.
order for them to say like, okay, it's time for me to retire. So can you shed a little bit more light around that? How much money do I need to retire?
So what you first want to there's a couple things you need to think about when it comes to retirement. One, what do you want your retirement to look like, right? Is it this lavish retirement where you're traveling the world and doing all these different things? Or are you just, downsizing and living a quiet life and maybe going to visit the grandchildren? What state are you living in, right? Are you in a high tax state like New Jersey, New York, California? Are you in a lower tax state like Florida, right? All those things make a difference onto how much money you'll need. The second thing is with this budget that you're doing, right? Looking at, well, how much am I spending today? Because depending on how old you are and depending on your lifestyle that you're living, you want to kind of try to maintain that same lifestyle in retirement. So those are the things that are going to tell you how much you'll need on a yearly basis, right? Mm-hmm. But the real question is, well, what does that pile of money need to look like that I'm building up to? And there's a couple rules of thumb that you can look at, but the main one that I see out there right now is the 4% rule, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a study done in the middle 90s by a guy named Bill Bengen, and Bill Bengen came up with this thing called the 4% rule. And what he did was he took an average portfolio and he looked at, well, what was the sustainability of that portfolio? How much could I withdraw from it every single year to make sure I didn't run out of money? And the only number that worked, going back multiple different decades, the only number that worked was 4%. Mm-hmm. So what that means is that in some decades, going on a 30-year stretch, 4% left you with $1 in the account. Other decades, it left you with much more, but 4% is that rule. So if you think about it from that standpoint, well, every $1 million that you have will be $40,000, right? And if you're thinking about, well, am I going to live a 30-year retirement? Am I going to live longer than a 30? I don't know what longevity is in your family, but what I can tell you is that overall people are living longer today, mm-hmm. right? And so what we're seeing is, a lot more emphasis on health and a lot more longer lives, people living into their 90s and their hundreds. And so if you're retiring at 60, 65, even 70, there's a good chance that you have a 30-year retirement. And statistically, if you're married, the chances of one of the couple making it 30 years is even higher than just a single person. So with all that in mind, well, how many $40,000 do you need to maintain your lifestyle? That would tell you how many millions of dollars you would need. The second part to that to think about is, well, how much from that standpoint is taxable, not taxable, right? We're just talking about how much you can withdraw. We didn't even talk about if it was saved pre-tax or post-tax or anything like that. So there's a whole lot to consider in there. But what I would say is it's not all drab and dreary. We have ways that we can help you create a better, more sustainable income stream that's higher. Maybe, you're getting 5 or 6% out. And we can show you different ways that can be accomplished fairly simply. So don't think like, oh my God, I need this many million, I'll never be able to retire. Stay out of that mindset, stay in the mindset of abundance, and we can help you get to where you need to get to.
And one of the key things too, I'll say, is that regardless of how much you need to save, I think the key thing is start saving for retirement.
Absolutely.
And the sooner you start, the sooner you actually hit that number, because then you have more years that you can actually benefit from the compound interest of the money that you're putting aside for retirement. So before you even think too much about, oh, what is the number? I think the first thing is make sure that you're saving for retirement.
Yes.
And the more you can actually put aside early on and get that money to start working in your favor, the sooner you'll get to that number that you need to hit. So keep the questions coming. We'll keep on creating more content, answering the questions that you guys are sending us, because what we really want for our community to do is reach your goals, because that's the reason why we created the 90-day planner, the budget planner, and this amazing content we're creating with Eddie and the Epic Financial Strategies team.